earlier on we saw from, I guess, the business owner's point of view and the people that own the actual product. Now it'd be great to hear from your point of view what you think along some of the same lines. So I'm going to open up with one of the similar questions. What do you think high net worth individuals really want from a travel experience? Dr. Cody?
Sure. So clients are seeking authentic and private experiences. They want to know that their trips are, that every aspect of their trip is being vetted by their travel professional. They want to make sure that their passions, hobbies, and interests are being incorporated into their travel experience. They want to know that they have accessibility and complete flexibility. They want to know that they can reach us no matter what time it is, wherever they are in the world, so that if they decide that they want to change due to bad weather or just because they feel like it, that they can. So because they have unlimited resources, they can change on a dime.
Yeah, right.
And so they need to know that they have that flexibility at all times. And they need to know that what we're creating for them is just for them. They don't want to feel like it's created for the mass market. And so attention to detail and privatization is very important. And ultimately, they want to be able to brag a little bit to their friends about the unique experiences that are being created for them.
Can I ask, because you guys obviously are the experts at creating these bespoke opportunities and services, have you ever been stumped? Have you ever not been able to deliver something that a client wants?
There is no.
There's no. There's just no. Just
if there's an issue, you need to provide a tangible solution.
Yeah, right. And so I've seen in the luxury consumer goods side of the business, say, for example, Louis Vuitton, when you talk about bespoke product, they offer a service now where you can have the only pair of Louis Vuitton boots in the world because they're going to be bespokely made for your feet. They can have your inscription on them. You can pick the leathers and you can pick the different variations of styles and colours to go for that particular boot. How do you do that in travel? When I guess you've got a lot of generic product, but how do you actually build such a unique or bespoke product and make it viable?
As some of the speakers previously have,
Oh, is it on?
Yeah, there's a lot of research involved. Just now, Francesco was saying how he spent months himself canoeing down the Mekong River and talking to the community. That's how you find out the most about your destination, whether that's in an urban setting, you're dining out at the restaurants, you're going to the clubs, you're shopping in those shops, meeting the people, becoming a part of the community. I think that's really how you build in that flexibility. If one supplier stumps you, then you have a network that you can turn to.
And Alethea, could you just describe what your role is? Obviously, you're the deputy editor, so, and Tracy was talking before about, content becoming, a key part of service. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I oversee the editorial content for Quintessentially Lifestyles Asia-Pacific region, and that involves a lot of overseeing of our website and seeing what's coming out of the rest of the region, whether it's our offices in Hong Kong or Singapore or Mongolia, where we've recently opened. A bit exciting. And what we're finding is that because of the content we're producing and we're a trusted source, other people are also turning to us for advice. For example, we're producing city guides for a number of corporate clients at the moment as well.
Great, thanks. And Will, how are you taking advantage of this sort of bespoke or personalisation trend in travel?
My clients tend to be the clients that it's all about one-upmanship, especially with their network.
Right.
And they don't like dealing with the generic brands.
So they like to go back to work and brag about their experience, being better than...
Back to work,
right.
Dinner parties, whatever it may be. It's all about the... it's all about having an experience that for them, it's better than the last trip that they've been on. They're used to 5-star. They travel for work 5-star. They're used to that level. They're at the pointy end of the aeroplane all the time. So for these clients, it's about getting access to things that no one else has access to. whether that be access to a private Michelin star restaurant, the Coco Chanel suite in the hotel in France, or just an experience that literally is off the radar that they just can't get through a generic travel agent.
Yeah, right. That's incredible. So if a consumer's experiencing 5-star all the time, to my question before, do the sheets or the pillows really matter anymore, or is it about what goes on?
They matter if they're not there.
Yeah, of course.
That's the norm.
Yeah, I guess if the room isn't made up by the time they're in there, that's probably not going to look good, right?
But somebody before had mentioned it really is all about service. And, the client today, the real affluent traveler, is really seeking experiences. They want life-changing experiences. And it's really about educating the client. And that's where our responsibility comes into play. If you educate them properly and they understand what the level of expectation is going to be, sometimes they are willing to forego, the 3,000 thread count sheet because the experience is just going to be so amazing. So it's really our responsibility to give them firsthand knowledge and really prep them properly so that they can have these remote, off the beaten path experiences that are really life-changing. And they love going outside of their comfort zone. They love challenging themselves both physically, emotionally, and mentally. And sometimes that's what luxury is to these, high net worth individuals.
Alethea, what are your thoughts?
It's just a theme we've come back to again and again today, the idea of it being transformational, about having an authentic experience, about coming out feeling differently. And I think as we talk about having a return client, I think a lot of the problem that hotels especially are facing is that people come to the hotel once and then the next time they want something different, not because they had a bad experience, they just are fickle. But because you're creating these connections and this emotional feeling, I think that's probably what's getting people to come back to one place or one destination, back to your hotel.
And how much do you have to know your consumer? Or how close do you get to consumer in, I guess, your field of work?
Close enough to know what they don't like,
Right.
but far enough to know, to be far enough away for their really intimate details.
Right. So, for example, if a high net individual goes travelling with his family, are you prepped on what the kids are like, or how much detail do you get into?
We know enough about them to find out that they can't be travelling, they can't have a layover at a transfer airport than more than an hour and a half.
Right.
Or we've got to come up with a solution, whether it be private jets, helicopters, whatever it may be. But also, it is to the level of we do know what dietary requirements are for kids and certain behaviourals of the children.
And so what is the process? Is it done as a survey, or is it stuff that you glean over time? How in your client's face do you have to be to act? Right.
Both. When a new member comes on board, we sit down and we find out as much information about them as possible, down to their wedding anniversary, parents' birthdays, the whole box and dice, favourite luxury brands, what their favourite football team is.
Yeah, wow.
But also, then it's also, there are learned things that you just can't get on a questionnaire that you can only pick up on time. And that may be getting information from their EAs or PAs, or just information that they give you over time as the trust builds.
Now, I know there's probably some other people in similar work, so if anyone does have a question that they want to ask the panel, please think about it and put your hand up. I'm happy to ask it for you. Another trend that I've seen in the luxury goods world is the increasing use of a CRM system. So anything from Chanel. People who walk into Chanel and buy at Chanel are very open to giving over their passports, which is really quite amazing. In any Maya, if someone said, "Oh, could I have your passport?" people go, "Well, no." But actually, in these luxury retailers, people can, will quite willingly hand over, their passport information, which has their nationality, age, demographic, and background, which is fascinating. And so, luxury marketers such as Chanel and Louis Vuitton are actually segmenting the way they market their products. So, for example, Bondi Junction has a very different demographic to, say, in the city. So their total range and even the sizing of their product is determined by people giving over their information. Have you guys used any products or is there CRM systems in your business which are talking to that?
I mean, we do have a system, and actually when a client signs on, we do ask for all of this information well in advance, the passports, the driver's license, anything that can help us so that once they give it to us, we never have to ask for it again. And, what we do is we'll make sure that, every single hotel, wherever they're traveling in the world, that all of this information is given in advance. So when they're traveling, they don't have to worry about presenting their passports.
Right,
or,
wow.
It's a very seamless process.
Oh, so you could show Chanel a thing or two.
For us, it's really about getting to know your client. We have endless conversations. We probably are guilty of knowing almost too much about our clients. We, develop very intimate relationships with them. Because I've been with Fisher Travel for so long, I know, some of them, the children now are traveling, as well. And, now we're creating their honeymoons, and now they are becoming Fisher Travel clients. And I think there's something to be said for intimacy in providing, the level of service that we are providing to our clients.
Great. So we're going to wrap up in a minute, but one more question to each of you. How have you changed your product or services recently in response to the changing demand from your luxury consumer?
Well, we've just recently revamped our website to include an inspiration wheel.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's a very direct response to the idea of.
And how does that work?
On the website, there's a couple of panels just with 2 photos on it. You click the one you like best, and then 2 new photos are generated, and so on and so forth, until they've got enough information on your preferences to flash up a number of suggested experiences.
Wow, that's brilliant. That's cool. Will?
Our whole business is a response to it. Sydney, for all its beauty and its attraction, there is still a fundamental service issue in Sydney, especially in the sales and retail environment. So a lot of our clients, they will desire the high-end item, and they will go through and deal with the substandard service purely because they want to get the end result and the end product. So our whole business has been set up to alleviate that and to enhance the whole service level and be that buyer's advocate for these for the clients.
Brilliant. Dee?
We stay really pretty true to the belief that Bill Fisher started 50 years ago, and that is, always maintaining, the level of service and paying attention to the detail and making sure that we're getting out there and experiencing the products firsthand so that we can truly give the client the firsthand knowledge, and it's not just reading from a textbook. And that's what makes Fisher Travel what we are.
Great. Well, thank you guys. Round of applause for our panel.